Alright, we're gonna see if I can do this all in one take. I'm not confident. I'm not confident in my ability to do that. What's up, motherfuckers, and welcome to the brand new series, Drunken Retellings, where I retell stories I can barely remember while getting drunk. I am not drinking this time. This is Martinelli's. I've already broken the sacred bond of trust between us as, you know, creator and audience. I'm sorry. I'm on a lot of migraine medication. That's gonna have to do. I'm gonna put forth an opinion that I think might be a little bit contentious. I don't care that much about Lord of the Rings. What? Hold on! Hold on! Hold on! Hold on! I am not questioning that it is a masterpiece. I am not that person. I understand that something can be technically good even if I don't like it. Lord of the Rings is without a doubt a masterpiece. It is, on a technical level, fantastic. It bores me. I'm sorry, it does. I actually imagine that will be a more contentious opinion than my opinion on Ghostbusters, which, as you'll remember, is if you're a guy, I don't care about your opinion on Ghostbusters. If 900,000 other people have espoused your same opinion, you don't need to share it. You got nothing to share. Your opinion about a thing is assumed. You don't have to express it ever in any way. Somebody else already did it for you. Your work is done. And that's kind of how I feel about Lord of the Rings. Like, you don't need to come into my comments or my mentions and tell me that Lord of the Rings is good. 900,000 people already got there. They've been there for literal decades. Like, there are plenty of people out there who think Lord of the Rings is super interesting and fantastic and wonderful, and those are your people, and that is just fine. I am not one of them. It bores me, and I don't think that that's because it's bad. I just think that it's just not the kind of thing that interests me. I did read The Hobbit. I really enjoyed The Hobbit when I read it. I read it in 4th grade. I don't really remember anything. That's a lie. I remember several things about it, but not in very fine detail. I have seen the first Lord of the Rings film and the second Hobbit movie. I've read The Hobbit. I've read part of Lord of the Rings, and then I got bored. Wait. It's me. It's boring. It's not an objective statement. It's just to me. It's boring. Oh my god, people are gonna fucking come for me. I can fucking feel it. I feel you. I feel it. I haven't even posted this yet. I already know. Oh man. Alright. It's been a really long time since I read The Hobbit. I'm going to attempt to give you a plot synopsis of The Hobbit. Remember, the last time I read The Hobbit was in 4th grade. So, strap in. This might get kind of wild. Maybe you want to drink, like a real one, or some migraine medication. Either or, whatever does it for you. I'm about to tell you the plot of The Hobbit, as far as I remember it. Am I in focus? I have no idea. Okay, so The Hobbit. The Hobbit, when I read it, was like pretty far above my grade level. You know, I was in 4th grade and I could read pretty far above my grade level, but I don't know that I comprehended. I'm gonna say at least 20% of The Hobbit. I got through it and I enjoyed it, but I don't know that I actually like comprehended all of it, which is part of why my memory is of the plot is not good. It's also been a fair amount of time since I was in 4th grade, but I do remember really liking The Hobbit and trying to read the Lord of the Rings books afterwards and just not being able. They were denser. I think they're denser in a lore capacity as well, and I've never been that into like really dense fantasy lore. I don't really know why. I'm into really dense sci-fi lore. I don't know why fantasy never really grabs me. Maybe it's because I tried to read Lord of the Rings in 4th grade. But I remember really liking The Hobbit, and I think it's because of Bilbo. I think I like Bilbo as a protagonist quite a bit. Bilbo is like the dude. He is like just so fucking toked up constantly. He is just like so chill and awesome just all the time. Bilbo's just great. So protagonist is Bilbo Baggins. He's this cute, chubby dude. Bilbo's a hobbit. If you ever played D&D, he's a halfling. Halflings are 110% hobbits. They like to sleep, they like to eat, they like to smoke a ton of weed. Hobbits are fine. I'm down with hobbits. Hobbits are cool. Hobbits don't like danger, they don't like prison, they don't like going out and rabble rousing. That's not their thing. But Bilbo's mom, oh shit, Bilbo's mom was like wild. Like her whole fucking family was wild. Bilbo's basically like hanging out, doing as you do, like just minding his own business, when suddenly a very tall friend shows up at his place with a gaggle of dwarves and is like, hey, y'all wanna go on an adventure? And Bilbo's like, hell no. No, I do not. This very tall friend is, of course, Gandalf and Sir Ian McKellen, who is fantastic. Way less interesting in the books. Don't at me. I'm not gonna read the Silmarillion. Gandalf's way more boring in the books. He's way great. He's great. He's great in the movies because he's Sir Ian McKellen, and nobody's better in the entire world. Nobody deserves happiness the way that Sir Ian McKellen deserves happiness. Don't at me. I'm right. So Gandalf, who's a wizard, shows up in tow, has this fucking flock of dwarves with him. Gandalf is in the position that you just never want to be in, where a bunch of like your rowdy coworkers are like, hey, we want to go out, come out with us. And instead of saying no, you're like, oh, yeah, I'll totally go with you. I'm just gonna bring my friend because I don't trust you to make sure I don't die. So, you know, he's got all these fucking rowdy dwarves with him, and he's like, Bilbo, my guy, you gotta go with all of us. We're going on like this big adventure. And Bilbo's like, hell no. Which, good answer. Gandalf's like, no. If you love me, you are gonna come because you are not gonna make me go alone with these motherfuckers. You're not gonna make me do that. And Bilbo's like, so is it gonna be safe? And Gandalf's like, no. And Bilbo's like, am I gonna get rich? And Gandalf's like, no. And Bilbo's like, am I gonna regret this? And Gandalf's like, every fucking day of your life, but you're my friend, so you have to come with me. Bilbo has, you know, the blood of the whatever the Tooks, I don't know, his mom's side, who are like wild as fuck. And so even though he's been completely reasonable and stoned out of his mind since the day he was born, he's like, alright, fuck it, whatever. He does a round of shots and he leaves with the dwarves to go do their thing. Now, this is when we're gonna start to get into the realm of shit I don't remember. So, the dwarves, I think, they got their ass kicked by a dragon. Basically, the dwarves lived in this, like, mountain fortress, and they had all of this fucking gold, like dwarves do. They had so much wealth that a dragon named Benedict Cumberbatch heard they had a ton of money and was like, you know what I like? Having a ton of money. So their dragon, like, took their house and all their shit, and so their, like, whole plan is, like, to go back and kick the dragon's ass, which I don't know how they're gonna do. I don't even remember how many dwarves there are. I'm gonna say 7, because that's how many were in Snow White. Let's see. So there's Sleepy, Happy, Keely, Feely, and Thorin. I remember Keely and Feely, because Keely was the hot one. I remember. I'm gangbags. I got eyes. The dwarves, I don't remember if the Arkenstone is canon or not. I don't. I think it is. I don't really know. The point is, they're going back to kick the dragon's ass. Dude and his friends have gone out, gotten liquored up, and they're like, you know what we're gonna do? Tonight, we are gonna go kick some dragon ass. We are gonna punch that dragon in the dick. That's our plan. We might need a wizard. I don't really remember what Bilbo adds to the team comp. I think maybe cuddliness. I don't remember. Except that Gandalf was in there and Thorin's in love with him. I didn't ship it when I was in 4th grade, but that's canon. So they head out to go kick the dragon's ass. I don't really remember how a lot of that goes. There's a lot of describing scenery, and I gotta tell you, like, my brain just kind of, I just remember that, like, it went on for like hundreds of words. So they're going on this mystical quest to kick a dragon's ass, and they go, and there's like a bunch of hijinks. They're taking the super circuitous route. I don't really remember why. I guess they're trying to like sneak up on the dragon. You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna make something up. The dragon's psychic and can like, he's like monitoring like the main path, and he has like, I don't know, like a bunch of minions or something, and he's like watching for him. He knows that these fucking dwarves are like gonna come for him, and it's not like he has any friends. So they like, they're going on this quest, and did they go to the, oh yeah, okay. So they have this little crew, but like they're not financed or anything. They don't have an army or anything. It's just Thorin and like his cousins are like gonna ride on this dragon. Like, it's probably not gonna go well. So they go to the elves who got capital and they're like, hey, I'm putting together a new startup. It's called the Fund for Thorin to Whoop a Dragon's Ass, and you should pitch in your fabulous wealth because we got a wizard and a cute hobbit. We got people signing on. This venture is moving fast and you're gonna want to sign up because we're about to take off. We are about to like accelerate at a speed you can't even imagine. And the elves are like,
I doubt that.
I'm sorry, elves. The elves. Well, that hard F. So they go to the elves and they're like, hey, can you help a brother out? And the elves are like, no, no. This sounds like a stupid plan. Also, we hate your stupid face. And the dwarves are like, we got more than one face between us. And the elves are like, you people all look the same to me. So they're like, fine, fuck it. Fuck the elves. We're just gonna go. And we're not gonna share any of the sweet loot we get from whooping this dragon's ass, which is definitely what's gonna happen. We are definitely not all gonna die. So, they keep going. At some point, there's giant tree things. Do the barrels happen? The whole barrel thing? Is that a movie thing? Or does that actually happen? I don't remember. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. There's barrels, just a nice, leisurely, bumpy ride in a fucking wooden barrel. Which is fine, because it's like their height. And along the way, they meet Gollum, but I don't really, I don't know why I keep saying, I don't remember. I'm just gonna make it up. They land in their barrels, they land in a fucking cave, and then they're exploring the cave, and they all have really terrible night vision. They cannot see in the dark. They get separated. Bilbo, while going through the cave, trying to find the dwarves and his shitty best friend who dragged him here so that he can tear his beard out hair by hair, runs into Satan himself. He runs into this little dude who's just been down in the cave, who's, I don't know that we ever really established what his species is, but he runs into this little dude, and this is I remember that Gollum is several chapters, because he runs into Gollum and he's this hideous little creature. He's lived in the dark for so long and he has no skin color whatsoever. He's got this fucking lanky ass hair and he's shriveled to nothing. Gollum's a damn mess. He's clearly super fucking dangerous, and Bilbo's well, shit, I've got to get away from this freaky little creature. Gollum, who hasn't seen another living soul for 10 years, he's been living down here in this cave, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, I don't fucking know. I have no idea. Do I look like I know what I'm talking about? No, I do not. Gollum's been down here for an indeterminate amount of time. He's simultaneously thrilled to see Bilbo, because who wouldn't be? And also super paranoid that Bilbo's gonna take this thing that he has, and Bilbo can't really tell what it is. He only refers to it as his precious, and he murdered his best friend to get it. And it turns out to be the fucking MacGuffin. So that's convenient. So Gollum is not exactly the smartest guy around, which you probably already figured out from his skincare routine. So Bilbo basically tricks him into giving him the ring, which fucks Frodo in the future spectacularly. So Bilbo tricks him into giving him this thing, which is the fucking power ring. He takes the fucking Green Lantern ring and he figures out that it can turn him invisible, which doesn't seem particularly valuable in all the circumstances, but it's certainly valuable when somebody is talking to you who you want to get away from. Do you ever find yourself cornered at a party by somebody you really don't like and don't want to talk to, and you just wish you could turn invisible? Bilbo can do that now. He turns invisible with his decoder ring and somehow finds the dwarves, and they book it. He shows Gandalf the ring and he's this is some magical voodoo bullshit, right? And Gandalf's ooh, I don't want that. You keep that. I don't want that. Don't look at me in the eyes. So they go, this was it. This was the description of the mountain. So they've reached now the Dwarven mountain stronghold. The description of the mountain is a page and a half long or longer. So just know that. If you've never read The Hobbit, prepare yourself. So they reach the mountain stronghold. Thorin and Bilbo and flirting this whole time in kind of the enemies to friends to lovers kind of way. So they get to the mountain
and like nobody can figure out like how they're gonna get it. The Arkenstone must be a thing, because like it just must be a thing. I don't remember it being a thing, but it must be. And they're like, you know, we gotta get this thing back. We have no idea how we're gonna do it because there's a giant fucking dragon in there. Like, I think maybe they were like thinking the dragon would have taken off for some reason, but like they get there and they're like, oh, he is still here. Ooh, that is really gonna put a kink in our plan. Well, darn it, Thorin, we really tried. So they're stressing, and Bilbo's like, I have the solution. I can turn invisible. And the dwarves are like, what? What? And they're like, listen, we know you're a wallflower, but you don't have to play it up. Like you're not actually invisible. I know we like smashed all your dishes and ate all your food, but it wasn't because you were invisible. It's just because we don't respect you. Thorin's like, no, babe, don't. I can call you babe. It's fine. Bilbo's like, no, I'm gonna do this. My name is Bilbo Baggins, and welcome to Jackass. And he puts on the Dakota ring, and he goes in to meet Benedict Cumberbatch, the dragon. And these were my favorite chapters as a kid, just because there's a ton of like homoerotic subtext, and like even as a 4th grader I was like, yeah, damn, I love the dragon's hot, and you know, that cute 4th grader kind of way. So he goes in and he like has several chapters where he like goes back and forth with the dragons. Dragons were kind of my fucking jam. Like, I talk a lot a game about not liking fantasy. I fucking love dragons, and Smaug is no exception. I fucking love Smaug. Smaug's a great fucking dragon. He's just fantastic. He's just great. And he goes in and he like, you know, he's like bantering with this dragon, because the dragon like knows he's there. He can like smell him or hear him or something. And so he's like, I fucking know you're there. I fucking know you're there. And they do that for like a solid at least 2 chapters. They're just like, oh, I know you're there. I know you're there. And they like go back and forth about like the nature of greed or something while they're bantering, and the dragon's like, I'm gonna fucking lick you from the inside out. Noah's like, cool. And nabs the Arkenstone, or whatever the fuck it is. I don't remember if it's the Arkenstone or not. Whatever it is, he nabs it and he gets it back outside to the dwarves. Cause I mean, the dragon presumably like just keeps talking, because like there's no proof that the invisible person is gone. Only really stops talking when he like senses he's like, oh my fucking god, I've been played. And he like goes after the dwarves, but like he like misses them. He like just takes off out of the cave. He doesn't even see them. He takes off and he like destroys this nearby city where he is anticlimactically killed. Not even by one of the dwarves. He like takes off to like fuck up this city, because he's fucking sure they did it. Zoom, just past the dwarves. Doesn't even fight them. Takes off for like this nearby city that has nothing to do with any of this, and is anticlimactically killed by a guy who looks suspiciously like Orlando Bloom. Orlando Bloom is in the second Hobbit movie. He's in it. And I still was like, is that him? This guy just looks like somebody else. I'm not even sure it was Orlando Bloom. Who played Aragorn? Some dude. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. How mad are you? How mad are you right now? Really mad? Sorry. So Smaug gets ruined. It's embarrassing. If you watch the films and you haven't read the book, it's that anticlimactic in the book, where it's like there's all this buildup and he like fucking takes off and goes to like fuck up this village, and then like 20 minutes in, this guy that you don't even know like kills him. And that's it. That's the end of Smaug. And like, even as a 4th grader, I was like, there's so much of this book left. How is there so much of this book left? Well, because now we really get into the greed allegory, my friends. We really get into it now. You were not prepared for what this book was actually about. So the dwarves go in to their stronghold, and it's beautiful, and Thorin proposes to Bilbo by giving him this beautiful mithril armor. And Bilbo, you know, he's cute about it, but he's like, I don't know, maybe. What will my family think if I bring a dwarf home? They're hanging out in like their, you know, mountain palace, and then the elves show up. The elves show up with Thranduil, who is Legolas's super hot dad, and the guy who killed the dragon, whose name I do not remember. And I say that having seen the film. So Viggo Morrison, that's the guy who plays Aragorn. I remembered. They show up. Viggo Morrison isn't here, I just remembered his name. They show up and they're like, hey, you remember how you wanted us to get in on this? Well, now we're in on this. And Thorin's like, go fuck yourself. And so then everybody starts fighting over the big pile of money that the dwarves have. Do the orcs show up? I don't remember. I don't remember if the orcs show up or not. But there's like this big fucking battle and like everybody's fighting everybody. Bilbo's like, what the fuck, dude? Like I helped you get in here. I helped you like get this whole thing back, and now we're like gonna fucking start a war with all of the people that we asked for help. And Thorin, the little red hen, is like, well, I grew the wheat and I ground the wheat and I baked the bread, and this is my Arkenstone and all of my gold, and anybody who doesn't like it can get fucked. And he is absolutely right in every way. So everybody's fighting and like tons of people die. I remember the book death for Thorin being like way more meaningful, and like when people eventually started talking about how Tolkien had lived through a world war and like this was kind of his way of dealing with having fought, and I think World War I, I'm gonna guess. I won't let myself look at the Wikipedia page, so I'm guessing it's World War I, because that's the one where everybody was wrong and there were no clear villains, which, as it happens, is every war except for the other World War. It's like this really touching, meaningful death scene where, like, you know, Thorin, he dies really slowly. He doesn't die quickly, and like it's over the course of like, you know, this days-long battle, and Bilbo's almost struck down too, but because of the mithril, he like survives, and it like reminds him that like he and Thorin share this really close bond. It's been sullied by just how deep down the rabbit hole of avarice Thorin's fallen, and so like even though they're not really on good terms, he goes to him as he's dying. He and Thorin share this really meaningful moment where Thorin's like, you know, I just really let these really small material things encompass everything that matter to me. That's not what really matters. What really matters is the close relationships that you have with other people, and that's the only thing really worth living and fighting for. And it took me dying for me to figure that out. I really hope that it doesn't take the same thing for you. And he dies, and Bilbo leaves, and he doesn't like take any of the wealth with him. He doesn't take anything. He takes I think the armor and the ring, and he goes home. It's like this really meaningful allegory about how greed is like a living demon that can take over your entire life, and if you let it, it'll transform you from the inside until nothing that truly matters, the true like riches that you have in your life, like your relationships with family and friends, your relationships with other people, your relationship even with yourself, avarice will corrupt that. No amount of material wealth can ever replace the riches of love and friendship and brotherhood. And then his nephew goes on a weird mystical adventure of his own later. And that's it. That's the Hobbit. That's the whole thing. And then Thorin comes back from the dead, and he and Bilbo get married. And that's it. That's the Hobbit, which I give a solid 3 out of 10. I think that there are some really great things in the Hobbit, some things that are really worth reading. I think especially if you're a writer, you should read the Hobbit. It really is a seminal piece. I think one of the reasons I find it boring now is because when it was being written, it was revolutionary. And now it's very much like Ender's Game, where it's like so many other stories have been built from that same premise that I now find the premise itself, which was revolutionary at the time, trite, and it's just been overdone for me because it was just so mind-blowing when it was first a thing. But that's my drunken retelling of The Hobbit. I swear to God, I will actually drink next time. Now I'm gonna go on Wikipedia and figure out everything that I got wrong. You should go ahead and just correct me down in the comments. I'm sure you will. I hope you didn't throw your computer across the room every single time I got something horribly wrong. You can go ahead and comment down below as well with ideas for other drunken retellings you'd like to hear, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.